Payday 2, released on August 13, 2013, is the sequel of Payday the Heist, developed by Overkill Studio for PC.
Yeah, let's toss aside that boring stuff. Payday 2, the FPS where you play as a bunch of heisters doing what they do best: steal. With the imminent release of Payday 3, I wanted to pose the question: is Payday 2 a masterpiece? According to me, fear. First, let's talk about the focus of the game, the heists, and there's a bunch of them. 84, if I counted them correctly. 9 of which are just variations of the same heist in a different map or with different objectives / loot. That leaves us with 75 entirely different heists of your choosing. Payday 2 follows what I call the RPG formula, which goes like this. Mission 1, find your grandpa's lost ship. Last mission, kill God. But in Payday's case, it goes like this. Heist 1, steal from this bank's vault. Last heist, steal the presidential pardons from the White House. It's either that or the other ending, which goes like this. Enter the White House, find a specific painting, solve an ancient puzzle, shoot down evil spirit, kill this guy, transfer the soul of the guy in the chair to the president of the US, and then there's the Payday. What I'm trying to say is to not take this game that seriously, because this game is like Cars 2, if you know what I mean. Without that of the way, let's talk about some of the mechanics. Payday 2 has a system I personally enjoy in games, which is the mastery mechanic, called infamy in here. This rewards you with a cool mask, an XP boost, and a cool card you can see in the lobby. With levels also come skill trees and also perk decks, which change entirely your playstyle. Speaking of perk decks, characters. As mentioned before, this game has some wacky characters, and some of them come from crossovers. Yay! Characters are basically cosmetics DLC. Some of them, too, do have added cosmetics / interactions, such as Body making Taser's heads go boom, or Giro reducing Cloaker's total weight by half. They all have unique pager responses, some of them shorter than the others, but they all take the same time to be completed.
The number you've reached is not in service. Please check the number and dial again. Thank you.
So they are that, cosmetics. Cosmetics with air quotes, because once you get their character pack, you can also start unlocking their perk deck. Each one gives you 13 buffs or change how things work, such as armor or health regeneration. This, combined with the skills the game gives you, can make for some interesting combos. You will also need to defend yourself when a sea of bullets comes in your way, but don't worry, you have a vast arsenal at your disposal. You have your typical ARs, such as the AK-47 or the CAR-4. Maybe you want a shotgun, so you use the ITHMA 12G. What's better than a deagle? 2 deagles! 3 deagles! We also have akimbo SMGs, some LMGs, sniper rifles, the good old grenade launcher, assault, miniguns, flamethrowers, and some bows. And also, they sound pretty neat. But you can just steal the money and fight the cops showing your face like it's no one's business. Or maybe you can. So, show your drip by rocking your best mask, whether it's this one or Trump Joker, and impress your enemies with your crafting skills and unlimited customization. It's fun, just trust me on this one. Now without further ado, time to talk about the good. This game contains a wide variety of heists. Maybe you want to steal from a little bank down the road, or maybe you feel a bit more brave and decide to steal from a private military base that's under a mountain. Or you can even have a nightmare about going to prison and somehow still get paid. There's also heists that can be also completed in stealth. I can't say much here, I straight up suck at it. Some of them, stealth is the only way, such as Shadow Raid or Morgue Station. Basically, there's a heist for everyone. You can start and go pew pew from the beginning, or you can spend an hour doing an event only for the connection to the host to be lost. Either way, heist can be approached in different ways. You can also acquire items to spawn in the map, so they help you with your heist. They're mostly used for loot. Or use a couple favors, so some items are moved to specific locations. This is mostly used for stealth, making your visit to the bank's vault way easier. Another good aspect, in my opinion, are the characters. Whether we're talking about the contractors or the heisters themselves, they are all full of personality. We have Bane, basically the boss of the Payday gang and the one who will be directing most of the heists.
Alright, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
We also have Locke, an ex-Murky Water employee who gives you some heists as well and is an overall fun guy to listen to.
They're coming! Now, friends! Under control, friends!
On the heister side we have John Wick, which is there.
Oh! I'm blind!
Jacket, my personal favorite because of his voice lines.
Please follow. Did you know that according to Abraham Maslow, the most basic needs for human beings are food, water, sleep, sex. Goodbye.
Or the biker from That Biker Show that won't stop cursing. Other characters also include the Australian lady,
Never gonna give you up.
Small Dallas,
I need a medic bag.
and the most annoying character ever, Joey. Ooh.
Ah! Can you get me a damn medic bag today? Dozer is dead. 12 points. Cloaker down. 10 points.
The music. The music is also a great aspect of the game. Unfortunately, all the bangers are only available when things go south, but they are definitely a blast to hear because they all go so hard. The game also has mod support, so you can add things made by the community that can go from playing as the Dragon of Dojima Kiryu Kazuma himself to completely add new highs. Or maybe just break the game and get millions of dollars with a small bag of jewelry, so if you're into that stuff, the game has you covered. Now, it's time for the bad. The biggest problem this game has is that it runs in an engine older than the sun. The diesel engine was originally made for racing games. In 2001, that means that the engine was 12 years old when Payday released, and is currently 22. Oh cool, it can legally drink in the US. This causes the majority of the problems the game has, such as long load screens, crashes, and, well, the funny ragdolls. Luckily for us, Payday 3 will run on a real Engine 4 and will upgrade to 5 post-launch. Great! DLCs. There's at least 2 of them. Yeah, there's a bunch, and sure, you can play without them, but most of the fun content, like hides, characters, or weapons, are in those DLCs. You can now buy the Infamous collection that contains all the DLCs since the release, and there's like almost 80 of them. Matchmaking is another issue. It's not only that the engine is older than me, I'm young, but the servers. Oh, the servers. They run on 12,000 crabs. For comparison, if you don't want to run on crabs, you will need 16 billion. For once, you may encounter yourself doing stealth and suddenly being caught out of nowhere because the connection with the host is non-existent. And what you see is not the same as what the game sees, giving you this fucking piece of shit back. Moving on. If your game doesn't crash and the connection is decent during stealth, you might encounter the problem of the lack of music. This is one of the complaints I have, no joking. As said before, this game has a lot of really good bangers, and unfortunately, stealth does not have them, so that's a bad thing. At least for me, and I'm the one making the video. My last complaint is the snipers. Those guys deal a lot of damage. That's not the problem I have. The thing is, these guys were trained by the best in FaZe Clan, because they can and will quickscope you once a single pixel of yours leaves cover. They can be easily countered by wearing armor, but turns out I refuse to wear armor, just as I refuse to take a shower. This is mostly a problem for those who enjoy builds that require you to not wear armor, such as Grinder or any dodge build, leaving you butt naked on the battlefield. Damn, Battlefield 3 was such a great game. Now, lastly, let's talk about the funny. Crossovers are extremely fun. We have H3H3, for some reason, John Wick, that biker from That Biker Show who can and will only say stuff like
Bitch ass shield.
or
Take that, sniper fuck.
or even
Bitch ass cloaker killed.
you get my point. We also have a GOAT collaboration with GOAT from GOAT Simulator. We have hides like Hotline Miami, you'll never guess from which game. No Mercy, which is from Left 4 Dead, the Alesso heist, and we also have weapons and masks like the ones from Chivalry. Personally, I love the collab heisters more. There's something about Jagged that just feels right, or how John Wick feels out of place. Ragdolls as well. We love shooting enemies and see them stretch. We love shooting enemies on stealth with a silent shotgun. We love shooting enemies with explosive. We love shooting enemies, and they hate it. This might sound weird, but PTSD. Hearing certain noises in the middle of the battlefield will keep you awake. Just listen to the cloaker.
And you can come back for more anytime you want. I got your DLC right here. Listen here, I got this drum solo I've been working on. We gotta stop meeting like this, you know?
Or some of the bulldozer's lines.
Bulldozer time! Who wants a piece of me? Give up! And maybe I won't stomp a mud hole in your ass. Okay, I'm here. Who wants to die? You can still give up! Bitch, I told you. No payday for you!
Lastly, this is a co-op game, so playing it with friends is the best. The chance to play this game with friends, then a great game becomes the best game, and it truly is such a fun time. I remember playing with friends and trying our best not to die, while one of us was getting beaten by a cloaker and the other one was getting tased to death, or with 2 dozers on top of him. Sometimes we even survived. This is one of my favorite games ever because of the memories and the countless hours I spent looking at videos, builds, looking for the lore. So yes, to answer the question, Payday 2 is a masterpiece. Boom baby, roll credits!